Good evening, everyone. My name is Alida Nelson, and I'm the chair and moderator of the Interfaith Forums. And it's my great pleasure to welcome you here this evening to the first of our 22nd year annual Interfaith Forum series. And I'd like to thank a few people right now. Dennis Ortwine, who's walking in, was the executive director of the National Conference of Christians and Jews when these forums began back in 1988. We'd like to thank the members of the Baha'i Faith who are hosting us this evening. Of course, the Interfaith Council of Southern Nevada, who is the sponsor of the organization of this program, and also the Interfaith Committee that selects the topics and puts the program together. A special word of thanks to Diana Stover this evening and Omid Habibi, who are working on the sound and the videos so that we can have recordings of these. This program, along with all the work of the Interfaith Council, is dedicated toward the eradication of prejudice and discrimination. It happens that we're dealing with the part of the discrimination related to misunderstanding among religious communities and different religions in the neighborhood and in the world. The program tonight, the topic is, where did we come from? Why are we here? And where are we going? And there, our panelists, bless their hearts, have all agreed to confine their comments to 6 minutes, but they just found out that Mr. Gard Jameson, who was going to be here this evening, was unable to attend, so they get an extra minute and a half, and they are so happy to be able to address the burning questions of all mankind. So stay tuned. These are some of the things they think we might expect them to talk about in addressing this topic. It could be an exploration in which our panelists may address their religion's teachings concerning ideas such as pre-existence, reincarnation, creationism, perhaps the scientific origin of human life, why the Creator created, the purpose of this life, what may follow this life, and beyond. So remember, they get 7.5 minutes for that. I wish them luck. The purpose of these interfaith programs is, first of all, to be able to have a place and a time where people can actually hear the real teachings of different religions from the mouths of people who actually believe and embrace those teachings, as opposed to interpretation by someone else, which is where we often run astray. It's also a chance to visit different houses of worship. Tonight we're in the Baha'i Center. Next week we'll be at the Center for Spiritual Living, a religious science congregation, and there'll be different locations throughout the series. And finally, we'll be able to meet people of different religions during our social time together. I'd like to invite the host for this evening, Mr. Hosni, who's the chairman of the Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of Las Vegas, and he'll give you about a 2-minute description of how the Baha'is use this Baha'i Center and what the part it plays in Baha'i life.
Good evening, everybody. With every function of the Interfaith Council, it seems I get less minutes every time. So this time I'm getting only 2 minutes. I would like to welcome all of you to the Baha'i Center. We're also very pleased to have the Interfaith Council programs happening in the Baha'i Center as they promote the development, the spiritual development of the people within the valley in a spirit of amity and friendliness compared to prejudice and hatred, which is a major teaching of the Baha'i faith. The Baha'i Center is basically here serves as an administrative building with hosting facilities to functions that can happen every now and then. However, our activities now are all concentrated on the neighborhood levels where we provide our services there, between children classes, junior youth groups, and study circles for people to go on a path of service to their own community. Here the Baha'i Center is built for quite I think around 12 years, 15 years. I was not here when it was built, so I'm not very clear about that. But it has been here for a while. It used to serve as a place for worship for the community, but currently we are dispersing within our own localities. And there are a number of Baha'is that I can see here, so please identify yourselves to the guests later on, so if anyone has any questions. Once more, welcome to the Baha'i Center. Thank you.
And we'd like to invite at each forum someone from the faith to say an opening prayer for the evening from the perspective of that religion. So we'd like to ask Joan Brighton to come forward and give a Baha'i prayer.
O thou compassionate Lord, thou who art generous and able, we are servants of thine, sheltered beneath thy providence. Cast thy glance of favor upon us. Give light to our eyes, hearing to our ears, and understanding and love to our hearts. Render our souls joyous and happy through thy glad tidings. O Lord, point out to us the pathway of thy kingdom, and resuscitate all of us through the breaths of the Holy Spirit. Bestow upon us life everlasting, and confer upon us never-ending honor. Unify mankind and illumine the world of humanity. May we all follow thy pathway, long for thy good pleasure, and seek the mysteries of thy kingdom. O God, unite us and connect our hearts with thy indissoluble bond. Verily, thou art the giver, thou art the kind one, and thou art the Almighty.
Thank you, Joan. You may have noticed there are no amens at the end of a Baha'i prayer, so thank you once again. The format for the evening's program is our panelists will each have 6 or 7.5 minutes now in which to make their presentation, and they'll go in the order that they are listed in the program. Now, the ground rules for the program are these. First of all, we assume that we all our religious beliefs are our most deeply held beliefs. And so in a spirit of appreciation and respect, we're here to hear those most basic beliefs and not to challenge them in any way during this program. There is no proselytizing, there's no debate, there's no challenging, there's no campaigning of any kind for someone to become one of these particular faiths. However, if something touches your heart, so be it. The panelists have been asked not to interpret for another religion, speak only for their faith. They're asked to draw from their scriptures as opposed to personal opinion, so what you're hearing will be hopefully what most of the people who embrace that faith believe. And finally, we are here to accept what is. And that means where we agree, that's wonderful. Where we disagree, that's okay. In essence, we agree to disagree. Our panelists this evening will be introduced this one time. First of all, we have Rabbi Mel Hecht, who will be representing Judaism. From Islam is Dr. Mohammed Shafi. From Buddhism is Mr. Joel Ferguson. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is Mr. Ashley Hall. And from the Baha'i Faith is Mr. Nate House. And at this moment, we all take a moment to ask that we feel the spirit of the one who created us all, and that we are able to share with one another what we believe.